The defense team for actor and comedian Bill Cosby compared his sexual assault retrial to a, quote, witch hunt. Lawyers said claims made by Andrea Constand are based on, quote, flimsy, silly, ridiculous evidence. She accuses the 80-year-old of drugging and molesting her in the summer of 2004. On Tuesday, lawyers called Constand a, quote, con artist and accused her of trying to extort Cosby for money. The defense team also hurled insults at other accusers, calling them failed starlets. More than 50 women have accused Cosby of sexual assault, spanning several decades. For more on this, I'm joined by CBS News legal analyst Rikki Klieman. Rikki, what do you make of Tuesday's closing arguments?
Well, I think they were strong on both sides, and you have to remember also how long they were. The defense took 2 hours, the prosecution took over 3 hours, so you had a lot of fire and brimstone going both ways. But the prosecution has the ability to go last, and whoever has the last word in closings can really do a lot with the first. So as you said, in the beginning, the defense calls Andrea Constand a con artist in this for the money. She got $3.4 million in a settlement. On the other hand, the prosecution gets up and says, who's the real con man here? The con man is Bill Cosby.
And in fact, prosecutors called the defense's comments regarding the accusers shameful. This trial comes during the Me Too movement. So what impact could that movement have on this case?
Well, we have to remember two things, one about Me Too and one about what trials are about. The trial is about the evidence in this case, and a defense lawyer is supposed to vigorously cross-examine an accuser. Here you have this accuser, Andrea Constand, plus 5 other accusers. You can't expect the defense to simply lay down still and not go after each of them. Be that as it may, let's look at Me Too. Me Too is the elephant in the room. Back at the first trial, if you had an old accusation basically not corroborated by a woman who then continued to have a relationship, whatever it may be, in this case a friendship or a romantic relationship, as Andrea Constand did, in day one, trial one, the thought of society in general was that woman would not be believed. Then in comes the Me Too movement. Now, the uncorroborated word of an accuser, even if it is years and years ago or decades ago, is thought to be truthful. But here you have Me Too, Andrea Constand, plus 5 others saying if there is a pattern of activity, therefore it must be true.
Well, in Cosby's first trial, the jury deliberated for 52 hours. When can we expect the jury now to begin deliberations, or for that matter, come to a verdict?
Well, tomorrow morning, the judge is going to instruct the jury. They were too tired today to get their instructions, and rightfully so. They've heard a lot of information. They should be fresh when they get their instructions from the court. That should take an hour and a half. They will begin deliberations tomorrow, and we could find that the jury could be out for 2 hours, 4 hours, 2 days, 4 days, or heaven knows how long. A quick verdict in this case, meaning within 2 days, would certainly be a good sign for the prosecution, because it would really mean that the prosecution proved its case and the jurors got it. If the jury stays out for 3, 4, 5 days, that is going to give the defense hope that they might get another hung jury, or even, if they dare to hope, an acquittal. So let's see what the tea leaves are. I am not someone who tends to predict them, because jurors have minds of their own.
Absolutely. But if the jury convicts Cosby, what kind of punishment could he face?
He is facing 3 charges involving one event, but they are 3 separate charges, and each of the charges carries 10 years. In most courts, they would be considered concurrent, that even if he got the maximum, it would be 10 years. In this court, maybe not so much. They may be consecutive. Either way, a 10-year sentence for a man who is not well and who is 80 years old is a life sentence.
Rikki Klieman, thank you. Always good to have your insight.
Thanks, Elaine.